Okay, we've got our underpainting of our eyes done, and now we're going to add the skin tone value. Mixed up some yellow, orange, and red, very faint and light, and I'm just going to add it in where I think there's skin color. So you get to choose. I don't do a solid color. See how I did a lighter color on the bottom left? A little bit more red up in that eyebrow area or the eyelid area. Always changing my colors. Not using soppy wet brushes. And I go from the red to the orange. I kind of mix it up. And I love to have life in the corners of the eyes. Now this is sped up really fast. I do not paint this fast, you guys. But you can see how little amounts of pigment I use in order to create this face, the eyes. Squint your eyes. I paint most of the times with my eyes squinted because I'm trying to see value, the shapes. Much more painterly than meticulously painting in perfect shapes. Now I can't do too much more because this painting is wet, but this was over about almost 30 minutes of painting. I've sped it up, taking my time to look at it. Here again, if I don't want it to drip down, turn it upside down. And you can turn your reference photo upside down too. But you see how red I'm going in the corners of the eyes? It'll still dry lighter, so I'm not afraid of it. The real dark, here I'm adding green because red and green on the color wheel, they dull out each other. They make more of a brown. Now that looks pretty scary for the colors, but when it dries, that green is going to lighten up quite a bit. Now really look at your eyeballs and see the shadow that the lids do on that eyeball. It's a little tiny shadow. Always just checking, squinting my eye, where else does it need some color or value? This is really a fast painting. I really sped it up fast so I wouldn't waste your time. But you squint your eyes. You can see how dry my brush is. And I know I'm dark. And I'm not worried about the color. I just want dark. Okay, so I've let it dry. And I've looked at it. But I am going to sit and double check up with my pencil. Going over my lines. And this is where it's really, the definition's going to come out. Do you see how all of a sudden the eye has become much more clean and looking? Looking at the shapes, I need that crease of the eyelid. And then what could I do with my paint to make it stand out better? And see how light my greens dried? And it was pretty dark when I put it on there. So know that your colors are going to dry. Now I'm actually taking that red, was right out of the well. This blue, right out of the well. So it's pretty thick. No water, very bold for my darkest darks. And this is how you finish a painting. You start with washes, you come into the mid values, and then you punch it with the teeny tiny bits of detail work. And there I had little puddles for where the eyelashes are, and I just dragged my paintbrush. So I can just drag it, scraping it. I don't have to paint each eyelash. You just want to suggest, oh, there's kind of an eyelash there. The more you can suggest, the more the brain paints the rest of the picture and makes it much more mysterious and more interesting to view. And it doesn't look like the photo. It has more character. And that's what you really want to convey as a painter and an artist. How can you take that reference photo and create something that looks similar to it, and yet with your own personality? I can't do too much more. I'll probably let this dry again and then do another wash on top of it for a punch.